Thank you. Thank you for joining. We will start to share what's new for the first quarter of 23. And I would like to share with you the highlights that are coming, mostly from your nurse. We will talk about, and I will also do demo for the new barcode search, a new section in the advanced search, allow you to search by barcode. Additional enhancement, nurse enhancement is the ability to do a call number searches using the StatsWiv operator in the advanced search. We will share a demo and explain more. Adding the ability to search in the My Favorite, search in your saved records to help user use better their saved records. Um, and of course, another nurse enhancement is about improving the pagination experience, allowing user to change the number of titles per page, even from the top of the search results. We will do a demo and explain more. And of course, we always have additional notable items and things to share with you. So stay with us. Before we are going into each one of the items, I just want to share what is already released in Primo and Primo VE. You can see on that on the left side. For the top four items were already shared the highlights. In addition, one of the things that we are sharing, and I will also add a dedicated slide, is the ability an additional parameter, additional setting for you to the area of the personal settings, as we introduced two toggles of allowing user to decide whether to save their search history or reuse the saved history for recent suggestions. So now we are letting you configuration to set what will be the default out of the box for those users. Additional enhancement fix is while we are sharing with our patrons the list in the Get It from other institutions, we will make sure that this list will be alphabetically sorted, and if we have and it will be also alphabetically sorted per the user interface language. More in the Primo VE area, we are now adding additional enhancement, allowing the user to browse by geographical name. We are now support all of those missing terms that are 651 missing terms, which is the geographical name. So as we are adding this vocabulary to the browse, now user can do also browse by the geographical name, but the geographic name. More regional needs. We also improve the mapping of the Unimark and the CN mark per the request. You will be able to see more details about that in the release note. I think that for the Unimark, it will be in the February release note. For the CN mark, probably in the December release note. You should also be aware that in Primo VE, we have twice a year a semi-annual indexing, and now we're in the process of indexing the entire, re-indexing the entire data for all of our customers, and it's supposed to be completed by beginning of February. So those changes will also be applied as part of the re-indexing. More improvement to the My Library card, to the personal details. We are also added the country field, so user will be able to view or edit the country field. And also per customer request, we also provide an option to define a separate form, a separate description to the request form via the booking request form. So you can better explain for your patrons what is the difference between those requests. We have to say that this also description code table is a code label can also include the HTML within it, so you can use it as well to add links or images or any HTML tags that will be relevant to show. Okay, So before we go into deep, let's just be on the schedule. So in Primo February, we are going to have, we already have the release on the sandbox on January 22, and the release will be available for the local customer on February 19. In Primo VE, we're talking about the December and January release as a resolved issue release, and also February release will be available on production on February 5th. Okay, now to the barcode search. So as you can see, this was a nurse announcement and also raised in the idea. This is going to be available in both Primo VE and Primo in February release. And with the barcode search, what we did is we added to the advanced search a new barcode search section, as you can see here, to let the user easily locate specific physical item using the item barcode. You can see that it was added as we added it as a different tab. The search criteria is actually the regular advanced search criteria form, and we have the barcode search. And now, before we going into any demo and more details on that, I'd like just to explain, and I draw here a diagram that can help you better explain how this works. So behind the scene. So if your patron is going to use the barcode search and fill in a barcode and send it to the Primo, what Primo is going to do, and here is something to highlight and better explain or share with you, is the Primo search engine index is currently include information that is only on the bibliographic records, or we also index a specific holding information on also specific holding information. We are not indexing information on the item level. This is something that you should be aware. Alma does that, but Primo is only up to the bibliographic records and the holding one. Therefore, if we are getting a request to search through the item barcode, what Primo is doing is actually behind the scenes is use Alma services, Alma API, in order to fetch item information by its barcode. So we are going ahead calling Alma in order to go ahead and search and retrieve us the item associated information, which for us, it's actually what we need to get is the associated bib records, the MMS ID that this item is belonged to. And we expect to get only one single record for that unique barcode. So once we are getting one single record identifier in Primo, we are actually getting these records with all of this discovery normalized information, this PNX, and we are sharing with the user the results in a full display format underneath the barcode search. As you can see here, the results will appear as a full records underneath the barcode search, as you can see here. We are usually getting in that below the advanced search a brief result. We choose to have full records because we expect to get only one single, and we wanted to save the user one click to open that. This feature is disabled out of the box. And also, we would like to also mention that the experience of sharing and showing the full records is really a similar experience to the one that are using the fetch item form. So we lead the user to the full records while you identified, so same experience. And I will do in the demo, I will explain what is the behavior while I'm switching between the tabs of the search criteria and the barcode search. And just before the demo, I'd like also to mention that the scope is that of that. The scope should be on the local institution's records, okay? The item barcode should target to the local institution record. If you are also holds a network zone, we will try to locate the associated records. If it's linked, it's a linked record to your NZ. Okay, so I just want to go ahead and share something, start the demo. So usually when we have a blank page or a clean search tab, we do also show and visualize this instruction that the library choose to customize and share with the patron. So again, it's also appear for the first time if you are in the advanced search. You will be able to see those explanation, and also in the barcode set it should appear. So you can choose to also customize and add information here that is related to the barcode search if you want. It will appear only for the first time. If a user is triggering any search, okay, if a user is triggering any search to the system and meanwhile also playing around, go to the barcode search and go back to the search criteria, they will be able to see the recent results of that search, okay? And it will be behave like that until the next search would trigger either from the barcode search or from the search criteria. Okay. Okay, so now I will trigger a search by using a barcode. I will search the barcode. And you can see that we are finding the full records. We are also trying to focus the user to the full records. So if I drill down, you will see I drill up, I will see the barcode set, but we are also focusing the user to that. You will be able to see that this is the same barcode that I also search for, and this is the full records. Now, if I'm going back to the search criteria, I will no longer see the search results for the previous search. And if I go back to the barcode, I will be able to see that until I invoke another search in the advanced search. One thing that I wanted to share, and I saw that in the community that was already raised in the Primo list, as we added this barcode search, we also by design changed the search, by design move the search criteria, collapse and expand to be on the right side. And while it's also, while you highlight, you can see that it is highlight and visible. And this also, the change that was made is part of the ability to enhance and add also the barcode search here. So yeah, it was moved here. Okay, so this was about the new barcode search. Okay, now with regarding to call number searches. So as you can see, it's also an ERC enhancement, also raising the idea, will be available in both Primo and Primo VE. The call number is actually, the meaning of that is like, this is address of the book, and it contains information, could be contain information on the location of the book, and the first letters can also be classified as the topic that the resource is referring to, and this is why I think that you, as in this enhancement, request us to be more specific and to enhance the search to support not only equals or contains, but also the start with, because there are meaning to those first letters or to the subclass and classification of those call number structure. So what we've added, so with this enhancement, we now support the start with operator not only for title, but also for the holding call number. As you can see here, so you can see the holding call number starts with those letters and will fetch the results. Now, before I go ahead and share a demo for that, I will want to mention that it's not only supported in the advanced search, it will be also supported for sites that are using the pre-filter. So you will be able also to include the call number as part of those pre-filters under the search bar. And so he said it is disabled out of the box, and if you choose to enable that, you need to know that if you're a Primo back office customer, you need to adjust the normalization as these enhancements require an indexing, changing the indexing. We are actually indexing in the call number field in the search in a way that the stats will be supported. So you need to use the normalization rule and also trigger reindexing. For the Primo VE customer, we are doing this semi-annual indexing. So it will be part of the semi-annual indexing for your production. If you choose to test it on your sandbox while you are activating the feature, please make sure to index the records that you are testing that on. So it will include the new search call number field. Let's do a demo. So here you can see, I will open again the stats with, so we can see the holding call number now can be included, the stats with can be included with the holding call number. While I'm selecting the stats with, you can see that it can be, it is supported for holding call number and title, as I mentioned. We invoke a search of holding call number stats with the letters, the two-letter BF. And if I go ahead and navigate through those records, you will be able to see that indeed the call number here starts with the BF. And we will keep on navigating the records that and see that now it's being it's being supported. Okay, I think this is the demo that I wanted to share with regarding to the stats of the call number. Okay, support search in my favorite. We are knowing it is coming from the idea. We also saw that it's coming in the last years in the NERC enhancement. It didn't reach the final ones, but we want to have it as a roadmap as we see your request. And then now, if user have many items, many saved records in the request, it will be more easily for them to search for a specific it will be more easy to search for specific records using this search in my favorites. We would like to explain that we are supporting this search, but it's really a basic search. The search will be applied on the title, offer, and the label. The labels are those associated labels that a user can assign to a record. So we are searching on that. And as I said, the search is really very similar to the way the control find is working. It's not a search with all of the smartness of inflections and distance among the words. It's really a basic one, and I will do a demo and explain more. There is no need for configuration on that. We're just adding this search in my favorites. It will only be seen for signed in user. And let's do a demo. Okay, so I am now a guest user and I'm searching for record. I will add it to my favorites. I will add this record to favorites. I've been recalled that I'm not signed in. This is something new from November. And I can see that as a guest, I don't have any search here. I will perform sign in. Once I'm signed in, I see that I have now 69 items in my records, in my saved records, and I can now 70 item because it also took the one that I've chose as a search. And now I can search for decide, and I found this record, this book of how we decide that I once saved. I could have also do a search on that book for its label, a decision maker, and you can see that it's also should save fetch me all of the items that I added as a decision maker, and it's also you can see that it's also free items, same as we have here. If we are choosing the labels here or associate the label, it's actually deleting the search. It's a new search if we are already sharing that. And now, what I also want to highlight here is I wanted to highlight also that it will work also on the author field. So I'm going to search for can, and it is the fields of the can. And okay, and I wanted to mention what is the meaning of a basic search. So if I'm gonna search uh, like learning to be creative, if I will search it, if I will search learning, it will fetch me that information about all of the learning. But if I will search with learning and creative as well, I won't be getting that because we do not calculate the distance among the words. It's not, as I said, the smartness of that. It should include, it should work as if we have this control finder we are use when we are searching through Word documents or the browser using the control F, similar experience. Okay. Next is a enhancement about improving the pagination experience. Before we, in the last year, we changed the pagination. So you will be able to change from the bottom of the page the number of page to the number of results per page. And with this enhancement, we actually community wanted us also to support this from the top of the search results. So what we did is in the place that we are sharing the total number of results, we changed the visibility of that to support the range and supports the range. This will explain the user the number of results per page. We will share the total number of results, and with this expand icon, while the user will click it, it will have the results per page, as you can see here. And whilst choosing that, the page will be refreshed, and the user will be able to see a new range is being calculated. Okay, I think that before I'm going into a demo, I would like to highlight some more. So we talk about showing it from the top of the page, and about showing it as a range and calculation. And another thing that we want to share about improving the pagination experience is that the preference of the user will be kept. So if the user sets the number of page to be 25, in the next time he logged in into Primo, the 25 item per page will be remembered, and it will be remembered. There is no need to add configuration for this enhancement. It's of course by default, and of course it's going to be synced. The same configuration from the top to the bottom will be applied. Before going into the demo, another bullet that was as part of this enhancement is while scrolling down the results in this existing pagination today, there is a bit of sliding animation while loading the results. I think that the community requests also to remove that, so we also fix that, and I will demo each one of these here. So I am having this improved pagination. You can see here now the total number of result is visualized as 1 to 50 out of this number, and I can go ahead and change it to 25. It will be 1 to 25. Okay, I can scroll down the results. You can see that we are aligning. This is a set 25. If I go to jumping to page number 3, and you will see that the range will be calculated accordingly. And now I'm signed in, and my preference is and now I'm signed in, and my preference is as staff of Eclipse Libris should be remembered as a 25. I will do a sign out. As a guest now, I'm going to search for results and increases to 50. Okay. Meanwhile, until it's being loading to the 50 results, I want to show you also that we reduce the animation. There was a bit a right sliding animation, and now it won't be appear anymore. So you can see all of the lines are aligned and there is no sliding here. So now, as just to remember what we've done, as I'm a guest, I'm choosing 50. I'm going to do a sign in back to be Ex Libris staff, and I'm keeping my search, and I expect to see now the 25 result, as this was my preference. Okay, so I think altogether with that demo, we really improved the pagination per your request. Okay, next. Last year, we released these two toggles as part of a privacy policy and GDPR rules. Users should be able to decide whether their search history should be remain or be used to set for search suggestion. So we have added those toggles. We've added them out of the box, turn on by default, and this was problematic. And this is why we are adding a new parameter, the default user search history off. So now as a library, you have the ability to activate each one of the toggle to make them appear. And you can also choose to make them appear by default as false. I know there are some sites that avoid using those toggles because the regulation, and they can't trigger by default this setting for user is on, so they can use this parameter, and user will be able to go ahead personal setting and activate them if they want the search history to do that. Another thing that I want to mention, if you're already using those toggles and now you want to use it to turn it off by default for your user, we just are taking care on also a situation that we are trying to avoid any overriding of user preference. So if user already choose to have those one turned on, okay, so we won't override their preference. So just be aware of that. And so this is was already available. This setting will for Primo V customer on December 22, and available now for the Primo customer at February. More for the Primo VE related. In the personal details, you will be able to see here the country field, and if you choose to edit the details, you will be able to have a drop down of the countries that are supported in the ALMA, and the user will be able to edit if he's doing any relocation, to edit the country fields also from the My Library card personal details. Additional notable item now to share with you. Okay, about the $505 T, the table of content title fields. We got in the past a nurse to index this field, the title field of the table of content as a title, to be considered as a title. And we did that, and it caused a little bit inaccuracy. It caused some situation where records were retrieved because of this $T field were ranked higher on top of records that were retrieved by the main title. So in order to avoid this inaccuracy, we are now indexing the title, the $505 title field as additional title instead of title, as additional title is getting is getting another weight, a lower one, while doing calculating the ranking. So this change will only come in the February after the semi-annual indexing is being completed. Another thing that we added, optimized, is the collection discovery. More specifically, while fetching the collection discovery items, we are now making sure to display them sooner rather than waiting until all of the thumbnails will be calculated. And then we are loading, and this sometimes can be the process of fetching the thumbnails can be a little bit more slower. So we wanted to speed up the experience for the user. So we are showing first the collection items, and the thumbnails will be render while they are being retrieved. This is really a similar experience as we have today in the brief results, where we also split their the delivery calls from and the thumbnails from the metadata itself, to be able to show more faster the results, the items metadata. Another things we added to the Primo VE, while you are configuring, customizing the condition for local resource type, you now can use 5 conditions instead of 4. You have to understand that whenever we are adding condition of that, it's of course affecting performance of all of the stuff. While you are discussing with us, we sometimes consider and see, and now we added more options to more flexibility to customize the local resource type. Another things that we'd like to drive your attention to, the Give Us Feedback tool in mobile. The Give Us Feedback tool for across most of the pages in Primo is available through the main menu, not from the main menu, from the user area. While customer clicking the 3 dots of the user area menu, there is an entry over there for the Give Us Feedback. It was working okay, but since we have in the full display, we are not sharing with the user this user area menu. We're no option to open the Give Us Feedback. Now, while user will scroll down the page, there will be a new link, new button to open the Give Us Feedback tool, also in the full display in mobile. Okay, more thing that I want to share. We are working very intensively on NERS from 2021, which should have been delivered in November and then postponed to February. It was about equals exact phrase that should be supported to title, creator, and subject field. We are working, we choose not to deliver that eventually in the February release, as we have more issues were found and more tuning over there were need to be considered. And this is why it's been moved to the May release. So this is something that I want to share. Also, we want to share with you that during December, we've conducted additional accessibility audit with DECU. This is the external company that we are using to those external audit. They just gave us the documents of the beta that are going to be updated on top of the November 2022 release. And we are now reviewing the documents and preparing from the list of issue the roadmap for 2023 for the accessibility. All of that will be published very soon to the Knowledge Center. You will find the new VPET document and also the list of issues that will be our roadmap for 2023, in addition to the cases that you are fetching. Okay. In the second quarter of 22, 23, apologize. We expect to have additional NERS enhancement about improving the user session timeout experience. This enhancement includes a notification to the user while a session is about to timed out, with an option to expand the session. It also includes another toggle in the personal details for the user to choose to expand the session also for next and future session. So this is about this enhancement. We are also going to have a new resource type filters. We called it in the 22 roadmap ribbon. Now we better, after gathering information and input from customer and checking the use case that it should be used, we're now releasing it as a resource types filters under the search bar. You will learn more about it in the next what's new with Primo. As I mentioned, the new exact type, the new exact phrase will be delivering the My release. Additional enhancement in Primo VE is the ability to custom the out-of-the-box resource type. You will be able to edit or add rule or condition to existing out-of-the-box resource type. We also are going to introduce the link data, a new info card, more specific offer info card, fetching information from Wikidata on top of that. So there is some crawling. We've worked all together with the ALMA team and the iEducation platform team to do this scrolling from the Library of Congress that providing URIs to Wikidata. Go ahead for Wikidata, fetching the information and expose it to the user as part of the full records display. This is coming also. And additional improvement to the My Library car, user will be able to view the fines by fine status. Not only the active fines will be visible, they will also be able to see closed fines or fines that are in the status of transferred, and that's so far I shared all of the information that I wanted regarding to the this quarter. And now some updates from the content and data excellence, as I believe you've already hear more about the data excellence project that being conducted across teams. So what we share that we are increasing the amount of records. As you can see, the number of records in CDI was increased to more than 5 billion records, and this is also we are scaling up with the number of collections we are supporting there. We are working intensively on the data excellence project in order to provide more stronger services to scale up with this increase in this big data. And making those records, of course, discoverable better and with high quality. Having said that, we also want to share with you that we are now having ebook central chapters within CDI. In November 22, there is the first load of them, and we expect to gradually load more from ebook central. Quick links. So we are adding and we are keep working with providers. So now you can see the list of providers is being updated, and this is now additional list of providers that are sharing a direct linking to the full text that we are working with. More data in CDI that is peer-reviewed. We have added more than 45 million records that are now have peer-reviewed indications. So it's also part of this data excellence project. And of course, with all of these improvements, we are trying to keep in the performance and making the right processing while you are activating your collection to be as faster as we can. You can see that it was decreased to the under 40 hours of processing the rights. More about community engagement. First, I want to highlight we have on February 15 the roadmap highlights. We will soon are going to publish and will send notification the new roadmap for 2023. So we will be able to go ahead and have a sneak peek even before the webinar. We also are looking to in person to see you at Eluna. We're now planning our session for Eluna, and we are excited to see you. And you can see also the Igloo one that is being planned. And I think, Scott, now it's really a good time to go ahead into questions.
Okay, let's find the questions. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, first question. There's a question that says, is this feature pretty much just for staff, or do we anticipate a patron having some kind of app on their phone enable us to a QR code scanner to grab that info from the physical item?
This is really a good question. This is one of the questions that we ask the community while we are talking about the barcode search, of course. The answers there could be serving library staff, but also patrons. There were some use cases. Yeah, we also asked that, and we got various use cases. Not only library staff can use that.
Okay. The next question is, can you demo starts with BF337?
BF337. Yeah, why not? Let's do that. Talking about, let's open the barcode search here. So we're talking about the call number. Call number, yeah, sure. And we want to start with, Scott, can you repeat? BF
337. 337.
Yeah, let's try. Okay, so we have 2 results, and we can go ahead and see. Yeah, this is a structure. I hope this is being satisfied. Okay. This is the time that I wish that we were talking. Yeah. Okay. I think you can move to the next one.
Okay. The next question is, can you remind me when semi-annual indexing occurs?
Sure. The semi-annual index has happened twice here in the release schedule, in the Alma release schedule. And we need to identify, distinguish that from the repository, from the Alma one. I want to just elaborate more. So in February, we are saying Primo VE semi-annual distribution is ready. Usually we are starting that at the beginning of January. Okay, so after we know that, once we know that the Alma, the repository semi-annual is fine, it's completed, we are starting the Primo VE. So it's like in a queue. Okay, first we are doing also twice a year repository, the Alma reindex, and then once this one is being completed by January, with January it's been completed, beginning of January it is started. Now, if you are a customer, you don't necessarily know we are running it on across all of the data centers that we are holding, so I don't know specific per institution when is the semi-annual indexing is starting from you, but we are trying to making sure that it is going to be completed by February. The next one is the next one is you can see that in August, we can see by August, it's going to be done again. And so that means that in the July release, not July release, in July, once the repository semi-annual is completed, we are starting at the beginning of July, we are starting the Primo VE next semi-annual indexing. And this is why sometimes we are targeting developments that require re-indexing really close to those times. So the barcode and the start call numbers features were targeted to be developed next to the semi-annual, so it will be really easy for you. You don't have to ask for re-indexing. We are scoping it really closer to the semi-annual as part of our roadmap planning.
Okay, the next question is, excuse me, we're a Primo VE customer. When can we test the call number start search in our PSP? Do we need to wait until February, or can we re-index to test sooner?
No, you can, and we added a note to the release notes. You can test it now. You just need to make sure to trigger a re-index for those specific records. So if you selected records, you want to test the start call number on top of it, added a set of some records, trigger a save to that. It will cause a re-indexing, and then you can test it on your sandbox.
Okay, next question is, will a lack of a country code in the user load files be an issue?
Lock on the country code, so user won't be. I'm not sure that I understand the question.
Okay, if that person can modify their question and send it. If we don't let users edit their records, will that still be available like it is for language?
I'm not sure to which enhancement it referred to edit the records. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Let me put this, my email at the, oops, sorry. Let me just put my email. So yeah, the ones that didn't get an answer, you can try to write me.
Okay. The next question is, will the call number start with the apply to call number browse search?
No, it works differently. The call number browse search rather than here. And I think it's target also a different audience, maybe that are using that.
Okay. Next question is, according to the Primo VE roadmap for 2022, introducing the new info card based off a linked data URI was planned for H2 in 2022. Do you have an updated info for this new feature?
So this is there are really a few features in 2022 that we did not deliver and move it. As you can see, it was moved to the first half of 23. This info card. The reason for that is we really also were based on working with the ALMA and depending on the way to crawl the data. And yeah, it was written there based on the URI. I need to check. Now we are basing on what the workflow that we have is it's Alma, the higher education platform is really injecting for us those URI. So I believe we have a processing in Alma, as is, I think they're already released in Alma, to enrich the data automatically from, for instance, the Library of Congress authorities. But I think that there is also a manual way to to add those URI. Anyhow, Primo V wants to get it already ready and are using Alma services that's in charge of crawling the data for them. So it can be used also in either product in Alva itself or in the future in other products in the platform. I believe this is also questions to go ahead with the link data working group to see if we met. This feature is going to be evolved. We are going to increase and expose to more data sources, and we need also your inspire and your help of how you visualize this, so we will implement. So we're talking, we're starting simpler with this fetching information from Wikidata after having this URI in the same process as Alma. So more use cases and that, you can talk to us how you see it improved, and we will wait. We are waiting to expose it already for you and start working on the next thing.
Okay, next question is on having a timeout box pop up when you are about to be signed out. Could there be an option in the future where staff accounts don't sign out? I'm in Primo all day long, and it would be great not to get signed out.
So there will be an option to extend to set on to a maximum, and there is also a setting where what will be the maximum. You need to understand this feature was really hard for us to implement, as not necessarily we determine the timed out. It could be the timed out can be from the real authentication and from the real authentication methods and not from the Primo. And there is going to be, there are settings to determine how long will be the timeout. I think that, well, if you choose to expand to maximum, it should be like 7 days or something like that.
Okay, the next question is, where is that country code coming from? We load users from an SIS and would like to know if it needs to be included. And when they say load users, they're referring to load users into Alma.
Yeah, actually, you can see the details now. It's already exists in Alma. The country field was already exist there in Alma. You can also know that I think that it can also be was retrieved into us in the My Library card, and now we just make sure to be able to edit and view it as the request. But you can learn more about the user management in Alma and view and see specifically there for you if it already exists there for your user while you are importing them.
Okay, the next question is, I missed some of the presentation. Will the barcode search be automatically set up, or is this something our campus will have to do? Same question concerning the call number starts with search and the search in my favorites.
Sure. Okay, so the barcode search is disabled out of the box. You need to enable that. There is a easy, really simple configuration to enable that. Same goes for the call number search. Starts with you need to enable that. If you're Primo back office, you need to also copy normalization rule for that. Go ahead and see in the release note the details. If you're in Primo VE, it should be more simpler to activate that. Search in my favorites, there is no need for configuration for that. It is what it is. We just added the search bar over there. Same goes for the new pagination. No specific configuration. It will appear there in production. This new toggle of that.
Okay, the next question is, will barcode searches be retained in search history?
Not sure. We are not treated that. I'm not sure. It's a good point. I'm not sure. We are not treated that as let's see. We are not treating that as a real search, as I said. It doesn't work through all of the. Just a second. It doesn't work as all of the workflow of. So let's see if the search history here. Yeah, the holding call number is being treated, but barcode search is not being treated as a barcode search. Let's try again to do that as a signed in. Yeah, the workflow that is it is working is really different when maybe the word search is confusing. Search history, yeah, it's not being treated as it's not part of the search history.
Okay, another question. We're getting to the end of the questions, by the way. If there is more than one item attached to the bib retrieve via specific barcode, will that also be retrieved and shown?
If more item, we expect to have a unique barcode per item. Anyhow, what we are getting back from Alma will be the MMSD, the bibliographic records that hold that item. So we expect to get only one. And we really clarify that with the Alma team that it's really a unique one. So the old design was count an assumption on the fact that we were going to get only one record attached to that.
Okay. Next question is, I apologize if you've answered this already, but will the link data author card be enabled automatically?
No, there will be a configuration for that.
Okay, this is more of a comment. There's a quick note regarding patron record edits in Primo VE. It will add a second or third address to the Alma patron record if edited. Instead of saying created by SIS, it will say created by system. Also, the edited address becomes the preferred address. This is just an FYI. I tested it last night.
Okay. Thank you for explaining that.
Yep. And then I don't have any other questions. So Nilly, if you want to go to your last slide with your email address, if anybody has any specific questions they want to or comments they want directed Nelly, please go ahead and do that.
Sure.
But if you make some final comments, that'd be great.
Sure. So first, thank you for joining and asking all of these questions and feedbacking us. We are working on that together. You are welcome to join, as I said, to the webinar of the roadmaps that we have in 2 weeks from now. And it soon will be going to be published in the Knowledge Center. We are excited to work on the roadmap for 2023, and on I also want to remind you there is also the processing of the enhancement. Now I believe there are a few more days for you to submit enhancement. Please try to push for the things you are care. We have a long process with the great collaborative Primo working group that we are working on together to bring all of those features back to you and deliver that. Thank you for joining. That's
Thank
it.
you very much.
Thank you also.
Thank you very much, Nilly. You have a great evening, and everybody have a great day. Thank you for joining, and I'll get the slides and the recording out to you ASAP. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.